We have already got an idea of the phase space representation in quantum optics. Let's see a very particular and very interesting function which comes by the name Wigner functions. They represent the probability distributions of your quantum states. So a Wigner function is defined in the following way. It's rather an advanced topic, but then we must learn it at any point of life, right? So it's better to learn it right now. So W of QP is defined in the following way: 1 over 2 pi integration e power I p q prime q plus q minus q prime by 2. Let's say I am defining it for any quantum state which is given by this rho q minus q prime plus by 2 integrated over the q prime variable for the range q prime equals to minus infinity to infinity. So this is the most generic definition of Wigner function. Okay, let me define it for any general operator, let's say A. This operator could be your density operator. So this is basically a probability distribution. See, couple of remarks to be noted here. This is a function of q and p, but it is integrated over another variable q prime which is not equal to q, but then of course it is some value in the q only. Okay, and this is the reason you could add it to this q. Also, see that in the exponential I have q prime and p and not q. And why is that so? For it you have to see the generic theoretical formulation of it given by Wigner's paper, for which he got the Nobel Prize also, I think, and for many other contributions, I think. So explaining you the meaning of it and how it came from is beyond the scope of my understanding, at least. So I'll just leaving it here. Alright, so I define it for A, for any generic operator A. So obviously if I define it for any quantum state, then it would be defined for a density operator, because density operator is the most general way of representing a quantum state. And here you get this rho. Alright, let's see some other properties of this Wigner function. If you integrate this Wigner function for all values of q and p, then it sums up to 1, of course, because it's probability distribution. But then there is something quite critical about it, on which I would make some comments later, a few minutes later. Okay, and values for q and p. So the probability for q, as in probability to find a quantum state with q eigenvalue of the q operator, would be given by integrating it over, I forgot to put the integration variables here. It has to be integrated over dq and dp. So, okay. This is one property. Okay. The probability for obtaining a particular eigenvalue q is given by Wigner function qp for a quantum state rho Okay, QP integrated over DP. Alright, similarly, the probability for finding, let's say, the momentum to be P for a quantum state rho is given by minus infinity to infinity Wigner function for QP integrated over dq. Let me just check if there are any prefixes over here. Okay, there is no prefix as such. But then of course this thing is the same as your expectation value of rho over the q, and this is same as the expectation value of rho over q. Alright. Another property of this Wigner function is you could find the expectation value of any operator. Okay, the expectation value of any operator. So suppose we want the expectation value of operator A. So in general we calculate it by the trace of the quantum state into A. Okay, rho A. In the Wigner function formalism, it is given in the following way. So this would be my fourth property here. So the expectation value of operator A, which is trace of rho A, would be given by integration Wigner function for rho QP, Wigner function for A QP, okay, and then integrate it over Q1. Let me check the prefix here. Okay. The prefix is the prefix is 1 by 2 pi, but in many texts you would also find it as a just 2 pi instead of 1 by 2 pi. There is some normalization because of the normalization condition basically, and I feel there should be a 2 pi. Okay, actually I found this in two different resources, two different values. In one place I found it 1 by 2 pi, and in one place I found it 2 pi. So see, if I write the Wigner function for this rho, I get 1 by 2 pi. If I write a Wigner function for A, I get another 1 by 2 pi. So to cancel off them, you could multiply it by 2 pi's. Okay. And to keep 1 by 2 pi, you could multiply it with 2 pi, 1 2 pi. Or just to give it this particular shape of Wigner function, you could write it as a 1 by 2. So anyway, this is not a very serious issue. The major business is this part. So I'm just leaving it up to you. Alright. Nevertheless, this particular formula comes from a more general formula of any two operators expectation value. So this is basically trace of rho A. Rho could be any operator in general. So this particular formula is coming from this particular result that I am writing now. So this is the fourth. So this is one of the fifth property of Wigner function. So the fifth property of the Wigner function is trace of any two operator AB is, again I write this as 1 by 2 pi minus infinity infinity Wigner function of this A in the QP coordinate and Wigner function of B QP integrated over dq. Alright, and of course when you replace this B by this rho, then you get your expectation value, because rho is also an operator. Alright. So yeah, these are some properties of Wigner function, and yeah, there are certain more results about Wigner functions, which are quite profounding in the sense that they differentiate between a classical state and a non-classical state. Okay. So, what I am saying is, a Wigner function can have negative values. We know in general the probabilities would not be negative, right? But then the Wigner function can have negative values, and when a Wigner function takes a negative value for a particular quantum state, then that becomes the signature of the non-classicality of that quantum state. So Wigner function can have negative values, and this is indeed a signature for non-classicality of a quantum state. This is a very important remark, and in this way Wigner function differentiates your classical state from non-classical state. Another remark is the actual value of Wigner function lies between 1 by pi to 1 by minus pi, and we know that probability should range between 0 to 1, and hence it does not completely describe a probability function, okay, because you know these things are not 0 and 1, and this is the reason we say this Wigner function distribution as quasi-probability distribution, partial probability distribution, hence the term quasi-probability. Okay, let me quickly also write two more important formulas, which are basically the Wigner functions written for number states or Fock states. Okay. Alright, for the vacuum state, I can have this Wigner function, this denotes the vacuum state, and hence I have minus infinity to infinity. I write xp now, okay, so I take a e power I take something like x, I take y, p, and then x minus y by 2. Now see, it is defined for this vacuum state, and for vacuum state rho is defined as 0 0, right? So here I have 0 0 and x minus y by 2. Yes. Right. And yeah, it is integrated over dy. Now, if you compute it, if you calculate it, then finally you would obtain omega naught of xp to be 1 by pi e power minus x square minus p square. Okay. Now, you know, this thing is quite interesting. This thing is very interesting. Why? Because this is a symmetric Gaussian in the x space and in the p space. How is it a symmetric Gaussian? Okay, let's see. I'm erasing it. Remember the Gaussian function. A Gaussian function is the following. If I have a g of x, then it is 1 by 2 pi sigma squared exponential to the power minus x minus the mean of x divided by 2 times sigma squared. Okay, the square of it as well. Okay, let me write this mean of x as mu. And what is sigma square? Sigma square is your variance. Okay, and of course the root of it is your standard deviation or the uncertainty. For example, if I calculate it for x, then it's gonna be x squared, it's gonna be x square's expectation value minus x's expectation value. If you take the root of it and it becomes your uncertainty delta x. Alright, so delta square is the variance. Now, see, for minimum uncertainty, let's say delta x, delta p, h cross by 2, minimum uncertainty would be when it is equal to h cross by 2. For simplicity, I take h cut equals to 1. Alright, I take h cut equals to 1. So, it becomes delta x, delta p equals to 1 by 2. That means the minimum uncertainty in delta x only is 1 by root 2 and delta p only is 1 by root 2. That means the minimum variance, which would be the delta x square, would be half. Same as the minimum variance for p. Alright. So, if I take the minimum variance for this Gaussian, let's see what is the result we are getting. If I plug in the minimum variance to be half, as I showed lastly, then this becomes a half, so this 2 cancels off, this 2 also cancels off, and this gives me a Gaussian width 1 by, this 2 are cancelled, so root pi exponential minus x minus mu square. Yeah, only that one. Okay. And you could see how they are similar. And this is the reason this particular Wigner function defines a symmetric Gaussian of minimum variance for the x and p space. Alright. Okay. It's a good point to stop here, and let's proceed next time.